Hi, this is Kathy with City Farmhouse Studio. Carrying on from the pattern of our Simple Step scarf, which teaches you all the basics of crochet and how to make your first project, the Simple Steps ear warmer headband takes it a little bit further and adds in seaming to one end to make this beautiful twisted scarf, perfect for those chilly mornings. The link to the pattern can be found in the description below. Just like the Simple Steps scarf, I use the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. There are alternatives listed down below that will show you some other brands that may be suitable as well for beginner projects. It is a category 4, 97% acrylic and viscose. Acrylic I think is a great option for beginners because it is cheaper, it does not bother your skin, and if you don't like what you're doing, you're not out of a whole lot of money. This pattern can be used with any yarn. Just be sure your stitch gauge to the whatever crochet hook to the size of material would be comparable. You will need just a portion of one skein since this is a smaller project. This skein is 5 ounces, 142 grams, 252 yards, and 230 meters. So again, I want to start this skein. So I'm going to pull out one end and tuck that in the label just for now. And I'm going to go into the other side. Kind of find in the center where I can feel those wraps and it's feeling even on both sides, and I just pull out. Oh, I'm going to get a yarn barf on this one. And then you kind of unravel this some until you find your center. It should be in there somewhere. There we go. Just like the Simple Step scarf, you have a size I or 9 hook, and we're going to begin with a slip knot on your hook. And this time we're just chaining 16 stitches. Okay. So this is going to be what meets at the middle that we twist. So we're going to start we're making a long rectangle, and this longer edge is what wraps around your head. So to begin, we're going to go into that second chain from the hook, and we're going to make a single crochet. And then we're going to make a single crochet in each of the chains of the previous row. So we will have a total of 15 single crochets. I'm coming to my last chain, make that. Now for row 2 of the pattern and for all the other rows of the pattern, we will be chaining 2, turning our work, and in the first stitch of the previous row, we're going to make a half double crochet, and we'll make one in each of the stitches of the row. The turning chain does not count for a stitch. So we will be making, again, 15 half double crochets. One of the reasons I chose half double crochets for this pattern is one, they're fun to make, I think. And I really like the lines that you get on the opposite sides of what you're working. And then each row you see that. But also it makes a very thick stitch. So it's going to be super warm in those chilly, windy days. All right, so there's that second row. So now we're just going to keep repeating that. So chain 2 and turn, going into the top. So that line on the bottom is that ridge that we will be seeing. So we want to go what lays on top and make a half double crochet in each of those. So there you can start to see that ridge developing. Finish that row, chain 2, turn, so you keep repeating this pattern of chain 2 and then just half double crochet on down until you get the size either mentioned in the pattern or for whatever you need to go around your head. My 13-year-old daughter has a surprisingly large head. She has thick, thick hair too, so making your own headbands is one way to make sure that they fit and are comfortable. She always complains about store-bought headbands and hats being too tight. So you can really custom make these so that people love to wear them. They're comfortable and they're warm. All right, finish that row and you can already start to see those 2 banding rows. So we'll have that throughout, and it's also on the other side. So there isn't a right or wrong side, it's just these are staggered. So I will continue this row repeat until I have the dimension I need. I have gone ahead and finished crocheting all the way down. The piece now measures 21 inches. And so to finish off, what you do is you make a kind of an extended loop. And so we want to leave enough of an end, a long enough tail, so that we have enough yarn to sew the edges together. So I'm just going to leave a little over a foot. And then I'm going to take the end through my loop and pull that closed. And that binds off the crochet and it no longer will come undone. To seam together, you take a large-eyed blunt tapestry tool. Go ahead and thread that in. And then with everything folded up in a circle, looking at the ends, we want to make an angle with the side in our left hand. And we want to make the reverse angle with the side in our right hand. And we're going to sandwich those two together. Just as so. So it's kind of a two C's nestled into each other. Then, taking our needle, we're going to go through and just seam these edges closed. And I go through the loops from the single crochets and then the loop of the foundation chain. So just continuing to sew everything together. And then on the end, you need to kind of go through a little bit extra just to make sure everything is secured all the way through. And then I go back along the edge, and this is going to be weaving in the ends to keep it secured. And I'm not being as meticulous about making sure I get everything through the correct loops, just as long as they go through some. And then I'm even going to come back up and just kind of hide that end within some of the stitches. I'm going between the loops of the half double crochets. And then I'm going to go up to another row and go through those loops. And then I am going to cut that. And then for the tail that we started with the chain, put that on my needle. And that one I am just going to go up through the stitches that I've worked. Similar fashion of how we just wove in that last edge. Just kind of weaving in sporadically back and forth. Being sure to go back and forth is key. It helps lock in the tail so it won't come undone. And if it does come undone, then it has, by being pulled, well then it has that other direction, it has to be pulled again. So it really helps to secure it. And then I'll trim that. Then when you turn it right side around, you have a very nice ear warmer head wrap. I hope you've enjoyed this project and has inspired you to create some more crochet items. Thanks for watching. Be sure to let me know if this was one of your first crochet projects and what's next on your list. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss out on any other great tutorials from City Farmhouse Studio. Thanks again. Bye.